So how do you handle feedback when someone has feedback for you and maybe it's critical? Maybe they're a little bit disgruntled. Maybe they're not separating out here's what I didn't like versus here are the results I got versus here's my responsibility. How do you handle all that? So first of all, separate, at least in your mind, separate out the customer relationship management side, because you want to make sure people are happy and placated and supported and feel good about their relationship with you. Separate that out from the reception of the feedback. Don't be defensive, be curious. I wonder what that means. I wonder what the lessons here are. Don't dismiss anything. There are a few rules that are really important in feedback, which is, first of all feedback is a gift. Doesn't mean you have to accept it, but it's a gift. Doesn't mean that you have to take it and use it as it was intended. Use it for what it's useful. But it is a gift. It didn't have to be offered. You're better off knowing than not knowing. And second of all, there is no objective truth or reality. There's just the experience that they have, right? If a customer is, in air quotes, wrong, and the longer you're in business, the more customers you're going to have that are going to be wrong, right? I don't believe that the customer is always right, but the customer is always right about how they feel. And so, they can, if they're upset and they're like, this is what happened, this is what it went down, this is not okay. I mean, you can be thinking objectively, but that's not what happened. That's not what I said. That's not what I promised. That's not what you got. And you can be objectively right, and they're still objectively upset. So they're not right about what happened or what you delivered, but they are right about their experience. Now, how do you square the circle of they're right about their experience, but they're not right about what happened maybe, or what's going on underneath it? And I'll share a story. I learned this lesson from my good friend, Michael Port, and it was such a valuable lesson. The first time I was going to be speaking at one of our conferences, I went to work with Michael at his studio, and the way he works is that you present, you go through your session, your presentation, and he'll stop you and he'll give you feedback. And sometimes he's got other people in the audience. You're on stage, it simulates the experience. It's great. He's fantastic at what he does. And I went through a little session, a little segment, and someone in the audience gave me some feedback. And then there was a break, and Michael took me aside, and I'll never forget what he told me. He said, Danny, you've got to be very careful of amateur feedback, because amateurs know how they feel, but they don't know what that means or how to fix it. So when you get amateur feedback, you get feedback from someone who is not an expert. You don't want to dismiss it. You don't want to dismiss their perspective on this didn't land for me or I didn't like this, but you can't take it as prescription for what to change or how to fix, right? The old Henry Ford line, if I asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses, is a perfect illustration of that. You can't take the prescription from them of, build faster horses, but you can understand they do want to get places faster, right? That is a deficiency in their current experience. They can't tell you how to fix the problem if they're not experts, but they can point to the problem. But if they're amateurs, if they're not experts, it's not, they don't know how to solve the problem, and they may not articulate the problem all that well, because it takes a lot of self-awareness to say, here's what I don't like, and I don't know how to fix it, right? People will try to dress it up in what they think a prescription is. So you want to listen to what they say. You want to thank them, because again, it's a gift. Then you want to ask them yourself, underneath this, what is the core issue? What are they feeling? And what do I think, from my position of expertise, what do I think is making them feel that way? And then don't do what they said. Fix what you understand to be the underlying problem. So recognize that feedback is a gift. Recognize that supporting and cultivating and nurturing the customer relationship is separate from the way you take the feedback. Don't be defensive, be curious, but be mindful of the level of expertise or lack thereof the person giving you that feedback. And if they're an expert, listen to what they suggest. Not in a way that absolves you of your own judgment, obviously, but listen to what they suggest. If they're not experts, then focus on the feeling and experience. And you need to figure out, well, what's causing that and how do I need to fix it?